Mary from Restless Chipotle here because life's too short for bland food and boring kitchens. So for this ground beef pot pie, you only need like 6 ingredients. So easy. It goes into the oven fast. It's delicious. Everybody loves it. You're going to need 1.5 pounds of hamburger or ground beef. If you've just got 1 pound, that's fine. Go with more potatoes to stretch it out. 1.5 pounds. If you've got 2 pounds of hamburger that you have to just really use up, go ahead and use that. It'll be fine. So anywhere between there, but the recipe calls for 1.5 pounds of ground beef, lean ground beef. I would use a 90-10 or a 95-5 so that you don't have a lot of grease to pour out of the pan before you bake it. We're gonna make it and bake it in this handy dandy iron skillet, okay? You're gonna need 2 cups of diced potatoes, and if you're super lazy like I am, use the thin skinned ones so you don't have to peel them. Onion, cream of mushroom soup, because what would a casserole be without cream of mushroom soup, right? Frozen mixed vegetables, and a can of crescent roll dough sheet. Not the crescent rolls themselves, but the crescent roll dough sheet. If you can't find the sheet, go ahead and get the crescent rolls, just don't break them apart. And that's it. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna dice the potatoes. I have a fly flying around my kitchen. It's driving me crazy. I am not gonna let it land on the food, but if you happen to see it fly by, yes, I'll admit it, there's a fly in here. And if you don't have a fly in your kitchen at some point during the summer, then I'm betting that you don't live in the country. Anyway, you want to dice these potatoes, and I like to dice them kind of small just because they cook faster that way. And when I say kind of small, I mean you could dice them smaller than that, but that's, you know, I like them a little chunky. You're going to want 2 cups of these, if I didn't already say it, which I may have. And remember, if you use the red skin or the Yukon Gold potatoes, you don't have to peel them. If you use russets, you're definitely going to want to peel them. And you know how to dice potatoes and onions, so I'm going to go ahead and cut these up, and I'll be back. Okay, I'm going to add the ground beef to the iron skillet, and I'm going to add the onions in with it. And then I'm just gonna season them with a little salt and pepper. Undersalt these just a little bit because you are gonna use the cream of mushroom soup, which is a little salty. So you don't want, oh, that fly. You don't want a whole lot of salt, but you do want a little bit. And then pepper, freshly ground if possible, and as much as you happen to like. We're just going to take this and put it on the stove and brown it till the meat is done and the onions are transparent. Meanwhile, I'm going to take the potatoes and boil them in some boiling water until they're tender. Now, if you are a bread baker, I just want to remind you, I've said it before, you don't use salt in your water when you boil your potatoes because that potato water is so good for making bread. It helps bread rise really high. So keep that in mind. If you don't bake bread, don't worry about it. Go ahead and salt your water. While the ground beef is cooking, go ahead and break it up. If you have one of those ground beef breaker up thingies, those are great to use. Otherwise, just use your spatula. I have one, but I didn't happen to get it out. I didn't even think about it. And you just want to make sure that the ground beef cooks all the way through and that the onions are cooked and tender. And that you don't have big giant hunks like meatballs. Once your water starts to boil, go ahead and put in your potatoes. and let those cook until they're tender. It won't take very long because they're diced. So it should take just a few minutes and they should be done. Make sure to let them come back up to a boil before you turn them down. They'll go faster that way. Once the ground beef and the onions are done and the potatoes are done, you just want to drain your potatoes and put them right into the skillet. And I'm just going to do this easy way with this skimmer thing that I love. It's so good for pasta and stuff. You don't actually have to drain anything, especially helpful if you're trying to keep the potato water or the starch water for some reason, like baking bread. Once the potatoes are in, we're going to add the frozen mixed vegetables. And you can use canned if you want. Just make sure that you drain them. Mix that up. And there's no need to thaw the frozen vegetables. They're going to thaw partially with the heat from the ground beef mixture, and they're going in the oven, so you're good. Now we're just going to add the cream of mushroom soup. And mix that in. If you like it to be saucier, then you can use 2 cans of cream and mushroom soup. But this is usually just about right for my taste anyway. The other thing you can do at this point is to put grated cheese on top if you want to have the cheese on the pot pie. Now we're just going to taste it and check for seasoning. That's salty enough. Perfect. I'm going to smooth this top out. Now you're just going to put the crescent roll sheet over the top and make it fit. You may want to cut the edges and then put them on this edge, which is probably what I'm going to do. Anyway, make it fit any way that you need to make it fit. See if my little razor blade thing here will work for me. Perfect. Okay, we're going to put this over here. It's not wanting to cooperate too well, y'all. We're going to tuck this one under. We're going to pull this one over. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to put just some slashes in the top to let the steam out. Oops. I use this for my sourdough, but it works really good for slashing pie crust too. If you want to, just for a nice finish, you can brush a little heavy cream on top. That'll give it a nice glossy finish when after it's baked. Preheat your oven to 375 degrees. I'd say I put about 2 tablespoons on here. Less is fine. I wouldn't put more on because it'll get soggy. And then at that point, if you want to add sesame seeds to the top or some kind of herbs or something like that, this is the time to do it. That heavy cream will help it stick. At this point, we're going to go ahead and put it in the oven for 30 minutes at 375 degrees. Or until the top is golden brown, and when you stick a Insta-read thermometer in the center, it's going to read 165 degrees or more. We'll see you back here in about 30 minutes. And here it is. Look at that nice golden brown crust. When you get it out of the oven, if you want it to have a slightly shiny top to it, and give it a little bit more flavor, you can always brush the top with melted butter while it's still hot. The butter will kind of soak into it a little bit, it'll dry out, and it'll be glossy and pretty. It's just a little trick that we use when we do the photography, and it looks good on your table. And it tastes good, because what with butter in it doesn't taste good? Good. And then I'd let it set for about 5 to 10 minutes, just so all of the ingredients can thicken up and settle. So after that, I'll be back. Okay, it's been sitting for a few minutes. It's still really hot, but it's cooled down enough that everything has kind of come together. And we're just gonna cut a piece out and put it right on the plate. Get all the vegetables we left behind. And there it is. Doesn't that look delicious? It's such an easy dinner and total comfort food. I know it's still sort of the middle of summer, but fall is coming and school is about to start. I was driving down the highway today and one of the schools is starting on August 4th. It's crazy. So this is great for back to school. It's great for anytime you need something quick and easy and hearty and total comfort food that does not cost an arm and a leg. All right, y'all. I love y'all. I hope you'll come back next week. Don't forget to subscribe, and go ahead and subscribe to the email too, and that way you'll get all of the recipes all of the time. See y'all next week. Have a good one.